Alright YouTube, criminal here. And this one I'm gonna be specifying what General Shao needs, and what he needs currently is just Jesus. But in this video I'm just gonna explain what is Jesus. I'm gonna explain to you what this character actually needs, because boy oh boy he sucks. And they fuck this guy over in so many ways I can't even describe how. They from any angle you can possibly think of, they just screwed this guy over. Pretty much everything he has needs adjusting almost. So first of all, this is the only mid in his kit. Only mid. This one. It doesn't lead to combos if you hit this overhead. This overhead just knocks to the ground. If you want to actually combo, you need to go into this. And the damage you get isn't even all that. So yeah, this mid, way too slow. 14 frames on startup for a character without any other mids. Sucks as fuck. Like everything else he has. High. This is a great bottom, but it's still a high. This thing should have been a mid in my opinion. If they want to keep the other things he has as trash as they are, this should be a mid. Granted, it will be the best mid in the game by far, but it should be. This guy has no ways of actually attacking the opponent almost, because the only mid he has is 14 frames on startup. Pretty much everything he has can be just punched out of. That's how slow this character is. He has this, another high, 10 frames. This leads into combos with power slam, but still not very ideal, is it? Just it pops up to the ground, it pops up to the air, which means this shit just really annoys me in combos, because just you lose all of the juggling potential very early on. So yeah, it kinda sucks as well. What else does he have? The back 2 is supposed to be his best model. I mean, first of all, way too slow. 26 frames is too much. If they want to make this 26 frames, it should be plus 10 on block. And why is the plus 3 is a problem? Why him being plus 3 is such a troublesome thing? Very easy. He has no mids other than this one, which is 14 frames. Which means the best you can get out of this is down 1 if your opponent is mashing down 1. If you try and go for any bottom, they can just be crouching, see it, duck under it, and punch you in the face. That's what happens most of the time, because you have no bottoms that actually beat your opponent. Just all of the bottoms you have are highs. And people normally will not smash after this, they know it's plus. Granted, it does lead to some pretty decent damage. Probably his best starter, but it still needs some major adjusting. This should be like 20 frames, not 26. 26 is way too much. It's so slow, you can actually just punch him out of it when you see him doing it. The reward you get, while pretty good, is nothing too crazy. I mean, if I go meterless, I don't even get that much. Like, that's just the major problem of this character. His damage is very bad if he doesn't spend his meter. And because he needs help in so many different things, you can't just pick a cameo like Jax who really enhances damage to the sky. You can't just do that. So it's troublesome, it really is. Now what else do we have? Let's just talk about this. The low and the overhead he has. This one is the most minus button in the entire game, minus 32 for no reason. And it's reactable, it's 20 frames. And the reward you get for it is trash, like you can't even special cancel it. Unless you're using Motaro, like this, you can't even get a combo. Like the best you can get is this, 15%, and from this one you can get this grab, 14%. This one can go into this though. So it can start combos, but getting this is trash, because the overhead sucks so badly you won't even block overhead against this guy. You have to use Motaro to have some form of mix-ups. And Motaro doesn't help him in combos, so yeah, it's a struggle, man, it really is. Change I would make to this to really enhance his mix-up. First of all, make this safe on block, because this is ridiculous, dude. It's not even starting combos by itself. And if they want to make it start combos, it still should be safe on block. Baraka, a character like Baraka is completely busted as an overhead launcher. Yeah, as an overhead launcher that is safe on block. Who else has overhead launchers that are safe on block? Many characters for sure. Let me just think. Kung Lao. Kung Lao's overhead can be special cancelable and then just is safe. This one, you can't special cancel this. You can only go into this, and this is still unsafe, so you're fucked. Best way to go around tweaking this thing, this will also help significantly his combo damage. This should be cancelable into power slam and pop up, and same thing goes for this. That will significantly enhance the combos of this character. make his combos much better, while also just making it so this character actually has a mix-up. Because against him, if he's not using Motaro, you don't even have to block over it, just block low. What's stopping you? I mean, this shit is the only part that leads to combos. Like really, it just sucks, man. Like both of these grabs should combo into power slam, both of them, and they should pop up for a combo and do a lot of damage. That's how it should work. Like you can do this in a combo, go into this shit in the middle of one, do a power slam and extend your combo. That will give him much better combos and just make the character much more fun in general. Now, what else do we have? That's pretty much it for when he has the axe in his hand. I don't think there's much more. He has also this overhead. It's pretty straightforward. I don't really have anything special to it. At least it's safe on block, which is something. So yeah, this overhead should be a pop-up for sure. Just like this one. Same thing. His sweep should get buffed. His sweep is one of the worst ones in the game. He has a weapon and he barely reaches the opponent from this range. It's trash. Pokes are decent, I suppose. Nothing too crazy, nothing too trash. Now, when you're not using the axe, let's see what else do we have here. Yes, this mid. I mean, still for a mid. At the very least, it's safe, and it starts combo, so it's not that bad. What else do we have in no axe? I'm just gonna go over. It's 1-2 is the same pretty much. 2-2-3, pretty good string actually. I'm pretty sure it's plus on block, isn't it? What the fuck? I think that's just wrong. Let me just check for a second. No way, that's minus 26, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, it's 0. Yeah, as I saw. And standing 2 is actually 1. This entire string is plus on block. Change it will make this character would easily fix most of his issues right away. First of all, is make the grabs from this and from this comboable into power slam, and make this a mid. This should be a mid, and this should also be a mid. Both of these. These are the only buttons you're using with this character pretty much. These are the only two good buttons he has in his kit. They both should be mids, man. He has no way to capitalize off of this. No way to capitalize off of it. Best you're getting is a poke. There's nothing you can do. He doesn't have moves that are fast enough. He's too slow. What else do we have? We have this punch it into the sky. Pretty fun move. Honestly, it's just fun to juggle. It's also +3, but it's actually faster. Pretty much this stance and the other one is just pretty much the same thing for this character. Only that this one is probably just better, like without the axe. He also has this. It's 402, which is actually a pop-up in this one. And on block, it is safe. So yeah, without the axe, it's very good. So a change they could make to just tune up this character. They could just make it so you can actually choose when you want to end the no axe. Instead of just regaining the axe after a set amount of time, you can just you stay in the no axe stance until you choose to actually grab it back, or until you drop down to the ground. That's another good option. He also has this one, the haymaker. What is this? From this low. This should also be a pop-up. Give this character more mix-up. Kenshi is getting unreactable 50-50s from center stance, dude. It's not fair that this guy doesn't get anything from his stances. He also has, what is this? Sweep, he has kinda trash, let's be honest. At least it's plus. He has this kick. Why is this -6? It's 20 fucking frames. It should be +5. Just like his kick in Mortal Kombat 11. Should be the exact same. Like this forward 4, it should be plus on block, 100%. This should also be stunning them in the air for much longer, so you can actually combo into power slam. What else? Do we have any other normals I want to go over? I mean, that's pretty much it, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think there's much other issues. Like, his hair string. I suppose the thing they could make is actually make this shit a lot faster. Because this one is slow as fuck, dude. This one is ridiculously slow. This string is also not very useful, the 2-2 something. Let me just check what's the extension. No, I never use it. Just 2-2 regular one. Like, there's not very much usage because you can just go into this and then go into the ground. Or just go into this in the corner. But this, what do you do with this? Nothing. I mean, there's no use for it. If he had an air special or something, it would have been good, so it actually stuns them in the air for a while, but without it, it's just pretty trash. I mean, this one is useless. Almost, they should buff it in some way. But his jumping too is actually pretty good, this button. It's just too slow. It should be like 10 frames, not 16. 16 is fucking way too much. Without the axe, let's see what else he has. Yeah, you launch into the air. Let's just go from the knee. Okay, that's the most. Goddamn auto block. Let me just cancel it. How do I even pop them up when I don't have the axe now? I'm not even sure how to pop them up. There we go. This one's pretty good actually. It's pretty much the same air string. There's not much difference, but it is pretty good. And this one, still the same shit. I mean, this needs some sort of adjustments. An air string being completely useless is not fun. Many air strings in the game have this issue. Like one is good and the others are just pretty much useless. Why would you use them? Now let's move on to special moves. He has this buff. I don't think this needs any adjusting whatsoever. This is pretty good actually. It's not that slow. It lasts for a while and the damage buff is pretty good. Like a combo with the axe. With the buff, you can see a significant difference. Like with the buff, it's 44% almost. Without it, a 4% difference. I mean, this thing is, I see it just makes your attacks do 10% more damage. Let me check. This does 6%, 5%, yeah, it just does 10% more damage. The amplified lasts for longer. Now, a change I would make to this actually is just, instead of just making the buff tied to the axe, just make the buff for General Shao himself. Like, when he loses the axe, he should have this buff available still. And this just ties into the other change I've mentioned, to just make it so I don't have to go back to the axe after a set amount of time. Right now it returns automatically. You should just be able to just summon it back when you want to. Because the no axe stance is much better than the stance when you have the axe in your hand. It has much better buttons, you are faster, you're more plus, it feels much stronger. So why do I need to regain the axe? I don't want to regain the axe. When I want to, I will regain it myself. So, and the best way to go around this is just make it so the regaining of the axe has no animation. Like, this should have just no animation whatsoever. Like, I do this string and I should be able to, in the middle of my string, regain the axe to my hands. That way you can actually enhance his combo ways, give him better mix-ups, and just make it so you can return to the axe much more reliably and when you actually want to, because in most situations you want to be without the axe in your hands because you're just much better with your normals. The normals are way better when you don't have the axe. Next up we have the Devastator. This one, pretty good combo tool. When amplified, it does this. I mean, problem. What's the problem with this? When you armor, it's an armor wake up. When you armor through something, you can actually not cancel into power slam, so it's not an armored launcher. It launches if you don't armor through stuff. Now, do I want it to be an armored launcher? Like you absorb the hit, you have one hit of armor, and you can actually still go into a full combo. If they don't make any of the changes I mentioned here, or just make a few minor ones, yes, this should be an armored launcher, a true armored launcher. Like, you armor through an attack and you still get into power slam. Get a full combo. Because this character needs the help, dude. Right now, General Shao is in the trenches. No joke. If Sub-Zero didn't exist, it probably would have been the worst character in the game. But Sub-Zero has such trash damage output that it's just... Sub-Zero's damage is so shit, it just destroys everything good about the character almost. Next up we have this. This one. This needs major adjustments. This should be like 20 frames. 40 frames is ridiculous, man. I can see it from full screen, dash twice, jump over it, and get the full combo. It's that slow. It's ridiculously slow how bad this shit is. This shouldn't have an amplified version as well. Like, if they want to keep it the same speed, which they shouldn't. If they keep it the same speed, they should just remove the amplified, and the regular version should just do this. Like, this shit, the amplified, should be comboable after any string you do on the ground. Just to enhance the combos a little bit. Like, General Shao right now has no way of actually spending his bar in combos except for this. Like, I believe characters, all characters need ways to just dump everything they have, all of the resources to get the most damage they can. Like, even Reiko has this, as much as they fucking hate Reiko. If you want to spend a shit ton of bar, you can get a shit ton of damage with Reiko. With General Shao, I mean, there's not much bar you can spend. I mean, you really can't do a lot of stuff, because Power Slam only pops up in this way, once in a combo. After doing it more than once, it just doesn't work in the same way. So this shit should be comboable after this string, after this string, after this kicks, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, this needs major speed buffs, major. Power Strike. Now, the enhanced version, I would love if they would make it so this shit Actually, the enhanced one, if it was popping up even on the ground, like if you could pop up even when they're standing on the ground, it could be much better. Or just right now they have the same speed, but the amplified does more damage. The best way to go about it is make the amplified like half of the speed, half of the startup. So just make it much faster, so you can combo into this much easier. Like a combo like this into power strike drops. Make it so the amplified chains. Actually, a very good way to go about this would actually be make it so when I hit the power strike, the axe automatically returns to my hand. So basically, I do my power strike, and I immediately get the axe back while they're still in the air, and I can go into another power strike. That way this character can actually have much better combos. Like imagine if you had the opportunity to do this, pop them to the air, do enhanced power strike, have the axe still in your hand, then do this, do like the Devastator, into another power slam, and then finish with this. Like to get 50-55% for dumping everything you have from your optimal starters. I mean, dude, that's the best way to go about it. The character needs a way to just do a shit ton of damage when you want to spend everything you've got. So yeah, that's just the change I will make to power strike. Other than that, I do feel like it's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't really have many issues. On block, it's pretty good. Like the enhanced is actually 0 on block. The regular is -10. This one is pretty much completely safe because of the pushback, and this one is 0. So you can go into this and like catch them off guard, maybe if they're trying to mash you or something. Now, the axe recoil change I will make to it, just as I said, I don't want this to have an animation. Right now, if you're using power strike, it takes a set amount of time and then just the axe returns to your hand. So let me just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds pretty much. 6 seconds and the axe returns automatically. Make it so it doesn't return until I want it to return, because dude, not having the axe in your hand is very good for this character. When he has the axe, it's much slower, it's much more sluggish, his hitboxes are worse. When he doesn't have the axe, his normals are actually pretty good, man. Compared to the rest of the roster, even the normals are actually pretty good. He has a pretty good overhead that actually pops up for combos. He has some decent mids. He has good frame data. Like, this is unreactable. This is the same shit, but at the very least it's cancelable into something. So yeah, being without the axe is pretty good. So change I will make it so I can only regain the axe if I choose to do the special. Like, if I input the special and I regain the axe to my hand by my command. I don't want it to be automatic. Unless you drop to the ground. If you drop to the ground, it should be automatic. Like, if you get knocked down and if you get hit, the axe should automatically return to the General Shao. Actually, if you drop to the ground, it's much better, because if you get hit, it just can poke you once and then you just get the axe back, so it's not very good. Just when it drops to the ground, give him back the axe. And this should have no animation, this thing. Just like how Shang Tsung moves from old to young, this should have no animation. Because this was really enhanced this combo game, man. Right now, not this. Right now, when you're without the axe, you can go into this shit. Then, imagine if you regain the axe in the middle of this thing and go into power slam. Just, it would enhance the combo so much for this character. Now, should they make all of the changes I mentioned here about combos? I don't think so, because it will make his combos probably the best in the entire game, but changes I would definitely make is make the grabs comboable into power slam. Honestly, man, if they just increase scaling on this guy, so like he doesn't do 70% from his max damage combo with all resources including Fatal Blow, they can make it so it just does, I don't know, 60 from everything including Fatal Blow. I think that's okay. If it does this amount of damage, they can make all the changes I mentioned, like make EX power strike much faster and just make it so it keeps the axe in your hand. Make this much faster and make it combo off of any string you have almost. Make power strike a launcher that activates multiple times in one combo. Make it possible to regain the axe without any animation. So yeah, they can go about many different ways to just enhance this character's combo game and his mix-up game. Now, when you don't have the axe, he actually has a few more moves. His moveset is pretty long, but most of it is not very good, unfortunately. He has this one, this knee. I mean, it's a launcher. The armored version is actually very good, because it's actually an armored launcher, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you armor through stuff with this, it just launches. So let me just make the opponent do this, not this. Everything is shit. This and then this again. Let's just see. I need to lose the axe. Let me just do it for a second. No, it doesn't launch if you armor through stuff. I think it should, maybe. I don't mind if it doesn't, but I don't think there's really much of a reason not to do it. Now, he has the command grab. I will say this is actually a pretty good command grab. Unfortunately, you have to be very close to the axe. I would love if they would make it so just the axe, when the axe is on the ground, you can do it from anyone's skin, just general Shao would grab them and just run with them and chuck them into the axe. It would be really funny and just much more reliable. And again, just this is the thing I really hate. Like, he has so many specials that require the axe to be on the ground, but he loses the no axe stand so quickly. Like, you have pretty much 5 seconds to do stuff, and then you just lose the no axe stand, so you're forced to go back. Now, this thing, the command grab, pretty good actually. I mean, regular version, amplified version should be in mid, just like with Reiko. I do feel like it should be in mid, just to give this actually a much better command grab, but it can stay as it is right now. It actually does some pretty good damage. Yeah, it does 14% for a grab, it's actually pretty good. Reiko only does 11 when it's regular version. And the amplified does, how much, I think 20? Almost 19 maybe? 70, it should do more, for sure. Because it's the same speed on startup, there's not much difference. I mean, there is an obvious fix they could do. Just make the amplified comboable into power slam, but that was just... All of these things, I wanted the character to just be loose, man. I want him to have so many combo routes that I never run out of options. I actually want to have fun, because right now, dude, General Shao is just limited to one combo, basically. The character doesn't really have much versatility. Everything you do is just do whatever string. If you manage to get a hit with the shitty strings with the axe, go into this, and go into just a knee, and then into a spring, and then into the grab. I mean, it's the same combo every single time. I want it to be more loose, dude. So yeah, I would love if this actually comboed into Power Slam when I think about it. I don't know, I do think this command grab is pretty good, but if it doesn't, the enhanced one should do more damage. 3% difference is not worth spending the buck. Next up we have Tree Chopper. Pretty good move. This is a move that really just... This is the move that fits General Shao actually not regaining the axe automatically, because this shit keeps you plus on block. It's very good for mix-ups, like... The opponent is blocking me, I do this, I go into Tree Chopper and I'm still plus. I'm plus 3. And if you had a better mid, if this was 10 frames or something, I could just go into this. But I can still go into this. The enhance is actually also 3 frames, but it's armored. I would love if this was actually not armored, just because it's really not practical right now at the very least, because the axe automatically returns to your hand when it drops to the ground, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, the enhanced Tree Chopper, I would love if this was just plus 7 instead of being plus 3 when you amplify it. We'll just make it much better, and then it will actually guarantee Shao's mid. Make it plus 8 actually, plus 8 to be Johnny's poke even. And finally we have this one, the Axe Quake, an overhead low. For some reason I really can't understand, this thing is actually minus 7. This should 100% be plus on block, dude. A million percent, this should be plus on block 100%. It's not that tough to block this actually, like unless the game is shitty, it's laggy as fuck. Overhead lows are not very easy to block, you could just fuzzy block it, like you block high and then just crouch down. And then it's not that hard to block this thing. Now granted, you can actually tweak the timing a little bit to just make it so the low it's 8 seconds, but because you can delay wake up in this game, this just loses a lot of its ability. So yeah, this should definitely be plus. It should be substantial amount of plus frames, like I'm talking plus 10, plus 15, stuff like that, because this is very slow, and dude, this thing is actually just, this is the main gimmick for this character. You're supposed to, like in the corner when you have this available, you're supposed to put on the blender, dude. You're supposed to be able to, like, look, just destroy your opponent with this shit. Like I go from this into this, and now they're forced to block it. I will say, the regular version is already comboable into a poke and then into the grab, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. And the Amplify gives full combos with actually pretty decent damage as well. And that's probably not even optimal, but... Yeah, I mean, these are very much the changes I would make for his moveset. Just this thing, I am okay with it as it is now. It's still a very powerful tool, but it should be plus a block. I really can't understand why it's not. There is a really elaborate setup to actually make this thing be an overhead low. When it's just a low, like when you do it from this range and it's just a low, I'm okay with this not being plus, but when it's from close range and it's an overhead low, it should definitely be plus on block. And just, there's one final change, just, it's Fatal Blow, major speed buff required, major, because right now comboing into this shit is pretty much impossible. Like, You wanna combo it after power slam making a juggle? You can't. Like, it's pretty much relying on Motaro, because Motaro has very, very, very good ability where you can just do a punch instantly, pretty much frame one after popping the fatal, and then it works, so Shao can rely on Motaro to do this shit. Even Motaro, it doesn't work even sometimes, but you can tweak it around to make it work actually. Just, let me just check it for a second. As you can see, Motaro is the GOAT, so it actually works. But yeah, this thing is way too slow, dude. If they want to keep this thing the same speed, it should go full screen. Like, this is very, very slow, dude. It's probably the worst pattern in the entire game. 126 frames. It's very tough to combo into this bullshit. Like, the only way you combo this is doing something like this. Dude, you sacrifice so much juggle potential, you sacrifice so much damage, like, even after this quake actually, without a cameo, it's hardly even possible to combo into this shit. It's just very, very tough, man. It relies on Motaro to get his fatal. Just, if they go around making the changes I mentioned, I don't even think this character will be top 5, honestly. I still think the top 5 will be better than them, even if they make all of the changes I mentioned here, but just, I would love if they could actually make everything I mentioned here come true. Like, everything I mentioned just needs to happen, in my opinion, just to make this character actually a good character. I'm talking about making this character top 10. I'm not talking about making him runnable. He's already usable, he's not that terrible. No character in this game is actually not usable. There's no character this bad, but I want him to be good, man. It's the final boss of Mortal Kombat. You have to put some respect on his name. Like, other than Onaga, who's more of a danger or more of a menace than General Shao? Like, Shao Kahn, not General Shao. It's Shao Kahn, man. We all know it's just Shao Kahn. You can't even call him General Shao because you know it's Shao Kahn. It always was Shao Kahn. But regardless, man, just this is the final boss. This is probably one of the more beloved characters in the history of Mortal Kombat. There aren't many characters that are more beloved than Shao Kahn, man. Everybody loves him. It's pretty much the most iconic villain of the series. Either him or Shang Tsung. He's so iconic. He's so cool. He has so much potential. He just needs some tweaks around, mainly frame data stuff, and then it just can become fantastic. So, if they go around making all of the changes I mentioned here, and I'll actually just make like captions on the screen every time I talk about something, just to mention what I actually want to be done, just in one sentence on the screen, just to make it easier, because I talked about a lot of stuff here. So, yeah, guys, when I said this character needs Jesus, this is Jesus, pretty much. If Jesus returns and blessed this guy with the buff hammer, just he hammered the shit out of him, just gave him a shit ton of buffs. This is what I would love to see for this character. He will be so much more fun to use actually, because he would have so many combo routes. He would have actually much more reliable mix-up game. It would be so cool to actually watch in tournaments, because the combos I'm imagining, the combos I'm envisioning for this character are probably the coolest looking in the entire game, man. Like, just doing this into like, I don't know, jumping or another back 2, and then going to EX power slam, still having the axe, going into the next Devastator, going into this, into another power slam, into this shit, into a poke, into a fatal blow, I don't know, just, he could have so much potential, like, just going from this shit, actually having the ability to go into power slam after that, would just make this character so much fun, man. It really would. But the way to actually go about this, I forgot to mention this, but if they want to make the grab go into power slam, it should only work when they're standing on the ground. If they're in the air already, that's what Devastator is for. This move exists to actually do it in a juggle. But if they're already on the ground, this should go into power slam and just juggle. But if they are in the air, it should not work. It should just do this and just finish with this, no power slam. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna have this one up here. I do believe this character has so much potential. I really do. If he gets the correct buffs he actually needs, even not everything I mentioned, because I know I'm mentioning a lot of buffs. I mean, what I mentioned here could possibly make this character a top 5 contender, for sure. But I would love it. I really would love it. This is just talking about all the possibilities I can come up with for just buffs for this guy, pretty much. If they do make the buffs I mentioned, I do think this character will 100% be a top 10. And I really want this, man. This is such a legend. It's just such a legend of the character. I just love him. I really do love him. So, Yeah, guys, I'm gonna have this one up here. Let me know if you'd like to see a video like this for other characters, like the buffs they need, the nerfs they need, in more depth. I mean, I can make one of these for like Sub-Zero if you want. I can make this for Nitara, I suppose, for any other character, for low tiers, for top tiers, whatever you want. Let me know if you have a character you want me to cover. I'll try my best to do it. So yeah, General Shao, just a very cool character. Really needs some help. If they actually give him the correct buffs, he could be the most fun character in this game. He's already one of the more fun ones. I really love playing with him when I'm not getting stomped by Barakas and Ashras, but still. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, guys. I'll see you in the next one.